It's Brandon. I'm on a trip from Greensboro down to Fayetteville for the holiday. And being out on the road, well, it's not too long, it's a 2-hour drive. But anyways, being on long trips gives me time to think about some things. And today I was forced to think about something that's been going on recently, and this has to do with the Confederate flag. And I'm not going to sit here and throw my opinions on the flag out there because it doesn't matter, and I don't care to know what your opinion is on it, honestly, because no matter what we say, we're not going to change each other's minds. So there's really no point in arguing it. But this is where I'm at. It's not as much about the Confederate flag as it is something slightly related to it. But I've been noticing some things saying that the Dukes of Hazzard have been pulled from the air because of the Confederate flag being on the roof of the General Lee. And I find this kind of upsetting, honestly, because that show had nothing to do with the Confederate flag. I mean, when the theme song is "Good Old Boys," I mean, come on, it's not about hate or anything of that nature, and I'm not going to be sitting here arguing heritage and hate and all that, because you know what, there are some people that will use that flag for hateful purposes. It is what it is. But the Dukes of Hazzard is representative of a certain time period, and that's why that flag was on top of there, I'm sure. I mean, it was in, a made-up town in Georgia, and so I don't know. I think the nitpicking has gone too far, and this means something for me to say that. But yeah, I think the nitpicking has gone way too far. If we're going to pull a show from the air because it has a Confederate flag on the roof of a car. You see, the General Lee was iconic, or is iconic. It's one of those cars that influenced a generation. You think now of iconic cars, or it comes from movie and TV and all that, and the cars from the Fast and Furious, the Supra from the first one, the Eclipse from the first one, and all that. These are iconic, and they influence so many people to get into automobiles, and that's what the General Lee means to me. It means that a lot of people saw that show, saw that car and the fun that was had in it. And granted, okay, yeah, they did illegal things, and I mean, it was a TV show. But I mean, honestly, any iconic car is involved with illegal activity. I mean, if you look at the Torino from Starsky and Hutch, yeah, they were on the right side of the law, but they were still involved in activity because they were chasing people. You see what I'm saying there? But anyways, guys, enough's enough. Don't pick on the General Lee. The General Lee ain't picked on nobody. The General Lee isn't, at the forefront of hate rallies or whatever. It's not. It's a bright orange freaking car with a Confederate flag on top. It inspired many people. It inspired a bunch of Mopar enthusiasts. Those are the kind of people I really don't understand. I mean, why I like slow cars. But anyways, it's enough. It's enough. Like, it's not a flag, you know, flying out in somebody's front yard. Like, I understand wanting the flag removed from government buildings and stuff like that, because you know what? It's not the flag of this nation, and it's not a flag of that state. It has no place there. It's connected with hate. Okay, I can understand that. But removing it from an iconic TV car, well, I mean, it's not removing it, it's just removing the whole show in general. It's a bit too much. The General Lee wasn't about that. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I mean, if you feel otherwise, if you can behave yourself, you can drop down in the comments and share, but otherwise I don't really care to hear it, because I know for many people, you know, of that time, does anyone remember, was it the early 80s or late 70s or something like that, that it was on the air originally? Like, think back, like, it wasn't a huge deal back then. Like, I understand it being a huge deal now, and in more recent times becoming a serious thing, but guys, it's not what that show's about. I remember when I was in high school, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. It was in syndication. I believe it was on Nick at Night. But I would watch that show almost every daggone night. And I don't know, I mean, part of it was the cars, you know, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the old muscle cars and stuff like that, and the Duke boys running from the law and all. I mean, it was good, clean entertainment. And to remove that from the air is a bit disappointing. And then look at, you know, all the guys whose first crush was Daisy Duke. I mean, come on, don't do this to them guys. It needs to come back. It does. Because I'll tell you, I didn't even know it was on the air still. If I did, I'd probably have been watching it. But I didn't know. So it obviously wasn't something that you couldn't, you know, flip through the channels without seeing. You know, I can understand maybe that being a problem, because people don't want to be reminded every time they flip channel when they see Confederate flag on top of a car, which, I mean, honestly, out of the span of one episode, how often do you see the General Lee? You know, not very long at all. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. I feel like enough's enough. This country needs to stop fighting. Really. Be more understanding of each other. Because there's no sense in it. You're going to cause yourself way more headache and way more pain by fighting with someone for the hell of it than just letting it go. Now, am I saying that the Confederate flag fight shouldn't continue? No, I'm not saying that at all, because, like I said, it doesn't belong on outside of government buildings and stuff of that nature. It belongs in a museum. And on the other side of that, you know, stores have the right to carry what they want. If Walmart or Amazon or eBay say, enough's enough, I'm not carrying that, they're just not going to carry it. Don't argue it. Just let it be. You can find that flag somewhere else if you wanted to. You can find the Confederate flag bikini for your girlfriend somewhere else if you wanted to. Quit whining about it. There are way bigger things to worry about than that. And on the other side of the fence, don't sit here and fight and say that it needs to be removed from stores, because that's not the issue here. And I understand that the Confederate flag and that the stuff that happened in South Carolina have very little to do with each other. It's just a symbol that this guy held. And I feel like there are bigger fights to be fought right now. And quit comparing marriage equality to the Confederate flag fight. They have nothing to do with each other. They just happen about the same time. They have nothing to do with each other. So, I don't know, guys. I'm going to recommend a song here because I was listening to it yesterday and I was like, you know what? This country needs this. But everyone needs to go look up the song Remedy by Zach Brown Band. And just kind of, let that soak in for a minute. Because that's what everybody needs. Everybody needs to remember to look out for their fellow man. I know a lot of people, especially on the pro-Confederate flag side of this fight, are Christian people. Let me say something to y'all. The Bible has some pretty clear rules on who you love, and that's everybody. It has pretty clear rules on how you're supposed to treat your neighbor. So, I feel like that's kind of how everybody needs to take this, Let's fight bigger things. Let's fight poverty. Let's fight homelessness, hunger, those kind of things. Let's not fight a Confederate flag on the roof of a car from like the 70s or 80s. It's just my thought, guys. Anyways, that's all I've got to say for today, or that's all I've got to say about that, or whatever. I know my impression sucks. But anyways, that's about all I've got to say right now. If you want to have some intelligent discussion with me, feel free. Otherwise, I don't have time for negativity. But guys, take care and drive safe. And I'll see you next time.